Hello and welcome to a mod review of Falcom Total War, which is basically a mod that takes Medieval to Total War and expands the map across the entire globe, as we can see here with, well, the minimap. I chose to play a European faction to kind of look at how playing a European faction on this global scale plays out um, in the mod. Because obviously, as you can see there, Europe's shrunk a lot. And that's the primary thing that I noticed about this mod was how close everything has become. At least for the European faction. So here we have the positioning of the Holy Roman Empire in the first turn. You can see there that Italy is shrunk down a lot. And Budapest is a lot closer to Wien. And just all these forts, permanent forts, it's a big thing to note. Plays a huge role in the strategy later on. I'm about 86 turns into this campaign by the time that I'm recording this video. And invading Spain, oh man. Oh man. It's rough. It's just rough. So here we'll show some evidences. The rebels in the beginning are pretty strong. They surprised me. I was able to destroy Denmark within 3 turns there. Portugal sailed up and landed on the south coast of France. The Scots sailed down and land on my north coast. Not very happy about it. Here we're going to watch me kill off the invasion army. As you can see, I've sallied basically every general in my force to really send a message to the enemy factions. Bye-bye, Edmund Canmore. This is one of my favorite screen arts here. I like to fight my battles in fair weather. At least when I have the superiority and the enemy doesn't have a ton of archery units, obviously. This use of this heavy cavalry here exemplifies what I have had to do with the Holy Roman Empire for a good majority of my campaign, being that I have all those castles, and so I get all these feudal knights right away. So I just basically, it's an iron army. Plowing through everything. Made huge use of mercenary units because even though all my territories were really close, I oftentimes find myself not being able to get quality units to the fronts that I need them. And so I've really been spending a lot of money on mercenaries. I have entire armies composed of mercenaries in turn 50 during my invasion of England, which you won't see here, but it went well for the first city, and then, well, the Pope got super mad. Go. Charging everybody forward. I think they do have a superiority in archers, so I think I decided that I wasn't going to wait around. Plus, with my cavalry, why shouldn't I just charge right forward? After all, what's the point in having all these cavalry if you can't flank people? You'll forgive me if I don't, or haven't zoomed in on any of the really heavy action. Primarily because, I was trying to win the battle, which is kind of more important to me than watching the guys fight. I'm no wizard at this game. I've been playing it a long time, but I don't know all the tricks and maneuvers to massacre everybody. I know the basics. I know pin them down, flank them. Ta-da. Everybody dies. That's particularly exampled here.
Only half the enemy force remains.
I probably could have let the Scots alone and they would have left, but I had an army. Why not use it? That's very interesting there. As we can see, it follows up. There's no errors in the concept that it fails to locate your battle where the people are on the campaign map, because there you can see would be the North Sea. That's west of Denmark. There's the North Sea right there. Well, it looks like some of them have rallied. Not for long. Anyway, all that chasing down. We'll jump ahead here until the 15th turn. These first 15 turns, super enjoyable. As you can see, my army of knights and nobles have basically been used for a lot. I had to do some early alliances, so I'm allied with France and Hungary right now, primarily because, well, I didn't want to get... Yeah, it's one of my less proud moments, but he's supposed to be crusading anyway. Punishment from God, I suppose. But yeah, so major highlights. Smaller map, at least in Europe. So like everything's more closely located together, which makes for some really, really intense fighting. The AI seem to enjoy recruiting large armies, and they're a little more cautious about chucking themselves into wars and everything. The diplomacy system's pretty brutal in that once I got big enough, I couldn't make peace with people anymore. So we'll toggle Fog of War here and take a peek at all the other factions. So there's my current position as the Empire. I haven't invaded London yet. It's coming up. There's the annoying Scots and seeing if they're going to drop an army on me again. As you can see there briefly, there's a bunch of forts and everything there along the Pyrenees Mountains, which made my invasion of Spain especially difficult later on in the campaign. So here we got Hungary and the Byzantine Empire. And you can see things starting to spread out a bit over here in the area of Russia, but you can also see that they're still much more closely located than they would be in the vanilla Grand Campaign. As we can see here, the rebels are pretty strong. Like, there you got some pretty strong holdouts, kind of representing the more independent nations that would have existed during the medieval age. Here's the Turks. Ooh, some Mongols over here. You know, here's the map really expanding, but that's the steppes. And you get China down here. Here the AI seems to just be dedicated to sieging them out, as you can see there with all of his siege equipment. There's a whole lot of siege equipment. Then you can see Japan there is also, and all of these factions are playable. I probably could have played a few to get a more balanced perspective on the game, but even over here in the Asian region, we see that territories and cities are very closely located. that forts hold very major passes and strategic locations. And there's the faction of China. And I think they did their research with a lot of these place names, because I know that at least the Chinese capital there is in fact the capital of I can't remember. I think it's the early Qin, the Qin dynasty, I believe. The first empire, the unification of China. I can't remember the date. I want to say 338 BC. I'm not sure though. So yeah, we're just scanning around now, looking at all the various territories. We see the Moors there with their traditional territories, but the Malians have expanded really quite rapidly considering where they start. Here we see the Incans over here, modern day Chile. They did a lot of work in the Amazon jungle there. Not particularly looking forward to invading that area, just for the length of time it'll take me to get anywhere. The Mayans there, the Mayans expanded a lot, where the Aztecs seem to be a little stagnant there. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go play more of this campaign.